witches, how you doing today? We're back with another video with Miss Luna today, and we're actually going to talk about her a little bit. Funny story. So I plan out my video content ahead, right, obviously, and May is all planned. And I thought April was all planned, except I didn't have a video planned for today, Saturday, April 30th. So I had a bit of a giggle and I'm like, oh, what am I gonna do? And I'm laying upstairs and I'm all snuggled in bed with Luna and I'm like, I'm gonna do a video about how my dog makes me a better witch. And I did a little bit of research and I wrote it all up, and then I thought, wait, this feels kind of familiar. Yeah, I already did that video. I've already made a video about how my dog makes me a better witch. So I'm going to link that down below in the description if you want to go check it out. Give that video a little bit of love. It's over a year old. And in that video, I gave 5 reasons why my dog makes me a better witch. And I'm going to give you 5 more reasons today. And we're going to talk a little bit about familiars and a little bit about dogs in history, mythology, etc. Right, Bobuna? So, before we get to it all, for those of you who are new around here, my name is Taya. This is my, I think she's about 19, 20-month-old dog named Luna. And welcome to the channel. We talk about all things witchcraft here. And for those of you who are returning viewers, maybe coming in from another video, welcome back. Thank you so much for the support. It's truly appreciated. And all of you, please consider subscribing. It's a really great way to help us build the channel. All right. So, a lot of people instantly when you say, oh, I'm going to talk about my dog and witchcraft, they're like, oh, you're familiar. You're going to talk about your familiar. So I want to make a distinction, because in traditional witchcraft, when we talk about a familiar, we're talking about a familiar spirit. Traditionally, a familiar is a spirit, which may temporarily take a corporeal form, but is truly a spirit from the other world who has many purposes, right? It could be there for companionship, it could be there for teaching, it could be there for assisting you or protecting you. There's lots of different reasons why one might work with a familiar spirit. So technically, by the definition of traditional witchcraft, my dog, I love her dearly, is not my familiar. But you will often hear people refer to their pets as their like familiar, their corporeal familiar. I don't like to refer to her that way, just because to me a familiar is, it's something that often I'll like send out to do my bidding, and it's there to like protect me from spiritual others, and I don't want to put my dog in harm's way, right? That's not her job. Although she is a protector, and we'll talk about that, I wouldn't want to put her in direct spiritual harm. So to me, she is my lovely pet. She is my Luna, but she's not my familiar. So in the previous video, I gave 5 reasons why my dog made me a better witch. To recap super fast, go watch the video. Like I give a lot more detail, but basically she's keeps me connected to nature and spirits of place. She nurturing another life force sort of keeps me grounded in the simplicity of truly basic needs. She gets me outside and helps me practice my mindfulness. She helps me discover new things when I'm like foraging, stuff like that. And she really connects me to my ancestors in a really unique way. So go check out that video if you want a little bit more detail on that. But I'm going to give you 6 to 10 now of why my dog makes me a better witch. So, number 6, she keeps me on schedule. In the intervening months between when I lost my last dog and we got Luna and she was like old enough to start like going for walks and stuff, which is quite a few months, I really had a hard time keeping to any sort of a daily schedule, because I didn't have like feeding times and walking times and all these things in my day that were sort of these imposed benchmarks on my time. So she keeps me on schedule and helps me make best use of my time. Number 7 is she loves me unconditionally. Witchcraft can be a very lonely path, especially if you're a solitary, and even if you're part of like a coven. I mean, you're not there with your coven every day, right? You spend a lot of time alone, and it kind of, witchcraft sets you apart from the general public, if you will, right? When I'm hanging out with my neighbors, or maybe I'm hanging out with colleagues from work, or whatever it is, I'm not, like, I don't feel comfortable talking about my witchcraft in any sort of detail, which means I'm not really truly getting to express and be myself. And so having my Luna with me at all times, she loves and accepts me all the time. So I don't feel so lonely. It's a very lonely path. And I don't feel so alone because there's a being that knows me inside out, knows and participates in all of the crazy antics I get up to, and I'm never really truly alone. When I'm out, say, scouting the next ritual location, or I'm just at home on the couch, I'm never really alone. And that helps me with my witchcraft, in that I think if I felt alone all the time, it was really hard to kind of get to stuff, because I just felt, what's the point, right? Now I've got somebody else that I'm sort of accountable to. Number 8 is her loyalty. And she is my partner in crime. I do ritual with her, right? She's always around. I do spellcraft with her. She's with me when I, like I said, out scouting the next location for a ritual. When I'm out foraging, the other day, like a few weeks back, I was out and I, was like wandering the bushes, and I found a deceased duck that I was able to, reclaim some of that duck. And, she was there with me. I didn't feel like, oh, I'm all alone in the woods by myself. Like, I felt very comfortable because I had her there with me, because I had my little partner in crime. Number 9, she is my protector. And while I would never set her as my last line of defense between me and maybe some negative spirit, she is there. Dogs, animals in general, can sense otherworldly beings, otherworldly energies. They are sensitive to so much more. Do you ever just sort of, see an animal and they're sitting there watching something that you can't see? And so I truly believe that in that sense, she is my protector. If there is something here around me, she will alert me to it, so I will know. So I feel much safer when I have her with me. And finally, number 10, she is my ritual partner. When I used to do ritual, I would sort of put her away in her crate upstairs, and I'd put in some earphones and play some gentle music so I didn't have to hear her howling to get out. And I would go downstairs and I would do my ritual, and it just felt really wrong. And so I started letting her come and be present with me when I was doing ritual. And interestingly, she's a very busy dog. She calmed right down, and she came and she sat in the north of my compass, which is the direction of the dark goddess, and she just settled there. And it's interesting because the dark goddess is intricately linked with dogs. So I found it very interesting that that's where she chooses to sit when I lay my compass. So, 2 dark goddesses who are linked with dogs, or hounds specifically, are Hecate, who is often shown with 2 hounds sitting at her feet, and it has been said that the howling of a dog indicates her presence, as well as the Morrigan, who was said to actually change into a red dog during battle. So 2 very well-known dark goddesses are intricately linked with dogs. A couple of other interesting points. The other world is very much linked with dogs, especially black dogs. We have Anubis from the Egyptian pantheon, and Anubis is the god of the other world, the underworld. In Greek mythology, we have Cerberus, who is a black three-headed dog who guards the gates to the other world. He is on the far side of the River Styx, so you have to cross the River Styx, and then you have to deal with Cerberus. And in European folklore, we have the Grimm, who is often seen as a spectral black dog who has red eyes, and seeing one out upon the heaths at night is sort of an indication that death is coming. So again, there's these like interesting underworld connections with dogs. And finally, a really interesting link that I found was discussing how dogs were linked with the Salem witch trials. And in Salem, there were officially like men, women, children who were, investigated and punished for witchcraft. There were also 2 dogs, both of whom were killed because they were considered to be bewitched. And one of them was thought to be, it had the devil, it was sort of the devil incarnate, it had the devil in it. And the only thing they could think of was, well, if it's the devil, we won't be able to kill it. So they shot the dog died, therefore it was actually innocent of being possessed by the devil. It was innocent of witchcraft. So sad, but interesting, right? That dogs do sort of have this link to witchcraft throughout time. So yeah, that's sort of our video for today. I will link the original video down below with the first 5 points about why my dog makes me a better witch. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you have a pet, a dog or otherwise, that's sort of intricately linked with your witchcraft practice, let us know in the comments. Share. I'd love to know about it. And otherwise, yeah, that's our video for today. Thanks so much, you guys. Mwah! We'll catch you in the next one.